After receiving a letter, the young man looked forward to opening it. He checked the status of the friendship by seeing how far the letter sender's portrait was from his own. He grabbed his custom chair and looked at his friend's face staring back at him as he read the words. Take a guess. A new form of social media or not? In today's world of rapid advancement and constant change, we may like to believe everything we are doing has never been done before. But the wisest man in the world once said, "What has been will be again. What has been done will be done again. There is nothing new under the sun." One might think with technology, things are different, but not nearly as much as you might think. We can see how many things have been changed by technology, but at their core, they remain the same. Handwritten letters once sent through the mail have now become typed emails sent through the internet. People who once received the Sears Roebuck catalog in their mailboxes and thumbed through it over and over while picking out whatever he or she needed, whether that was a toy for the kids, a new dress, or even a kit to build one's own house. Now people open up their computers or scroll through their phones to find the perfect toys, dresses, houses, and more. But dating, surely that is different. No. Dating has also changed with technology, especially long-distance dating. Way back in 1620, mail-order brides were recruited to come to America. The men were required to pay the company passage for the young ladies who came. With an average age of 20, the ladies were given the freedom to choose the men in the colony whom they wished to marry. The same idea was used by many different countries and across centuries. In the beginning, these mail-order brides would form connections with men after arriving in their new homes. Eventually, with the advent of better mail services, newspapers, and communication in general, the connection between the prospective groom and bride improved. Immigrants connected with ladies in their home country. Women desperate for a new life could find that with Western men and discover new opportunities. Indeed, one cannot underestimate the impact mail-order brides had in creating the world we live in. Often, these marriages began with an advertisement, an exchange of letters, and after the invention of a camera, the sharing of a photo. We've since moved beyond newspaper advertisements and letters in a photo and envelopes, but the world isn't so different. Many women around the world still exchange letters and pictures as they seek out their one true love. It's easier with instantaneous communication and video calls, but not really so different. Technology might have tweaked things, but it hasn't really changed anything. Board games are still popular, but so are computer games. Going to a play might still be entertaining, but watching television, the evolved version of a play, is more popular. The list goes on. But surely there is one thing that has only ever existed online: social media. Sure, we met up with each other at balls and in soda shops and at church, but social media as we think of it today must be a new invention. No. In fact, 1747 brought about a form of social media that resembles very closely that of today. Johann Wilhelm Ludwig Gleim was a German poet and avid correspondent. With correspondence being a popular method of connecting with like-minded people across great distances, Johann must have felt the need for a greater connection with these friends, some of whom he had never met in person. Johann had the idea to create a way to feel connected with these friends. The first step was to gather portraits of his many correspondents. With his collection of over 100 portraits assembled, Johann needed to arrange them. His own portrait hung in the middle, with his closest friends arranged closest to his own portrait. The portraits of more distant friends were hung furthest away. With his arrangement complete, Johann faced another hurdle. He wished to sit comfortably in front of his friends' portraits as he wrote to them, in a facsimile of an actual conversation. How to do it? The answer was obvious. Design a custom chair that would enable him to write at a desk while sitting in front of a portrait and addressing his words to the person in the picture. Not quite Skype, but closer than one might have imagined for 1747. While Johann's contemporaries might not have assembled actual rooms to keep track of their friends, other people did have their own ways of managing information and cataloging their friends. Famous poet Elizabeth Barrett Browning was an invalid. Although she already had correspondence, she one day received a letter from a 6-year younger poet named Robert Browning that would eventually change her life. Their correspondence and eventual visits led to the book that contained one of the most famous of all love poems. How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. Not so different from a friend request from a stranger that leads to friendship or even love. Even influencers aren't a new invention. When Sylvan Goldman invented the shopping cart, no one wanted to use one. So Mr. Goldman hired actors and actresses to push his shopping cart invention around the store. Soon, due to the influence of these influencers, everyone was using a shopping cart, and Mr. Goldman was a millionaire. So while we may like to think that everything we have is new and innovative, it's really just a constant reinvention and improvement of everything that has always existed. But those improvements are life-changing. An online video chat is a huge improvement over talking to a portrait while composing a letter the person in the picture won't receive for days, weeks, or even months. Online shopping has far more options than an old paper catalog. Businesses that once could only market to small geographical areas now can sell their wares around the world. Do you have an idea of something old that could be reinvented with technology? Maybe you simply need a website to market your wares beyond a farmer's market stall. Perhaps you dream of an application of your own unique slant on social media. If you need the right technology partner to take that next step, visit swansoftwaresolutions.com to schedule a free assessment.